What's up, guys? This is Pressure Stick, and I just finished Conquest Extreme. Want to give you guys some tips, some pointers, and let you know if I think it's worth your time to complete this. So, in order to get to Conquest Extreme, you have to finish Conquest Part 1 first. It's pretty self-explanatory. You just run through the whole entire map and just take over all the strongholds. After specific strongholds, like the Rays, for an example, they're gonna give you a rookie Wade Davis card. You got to plug him into your lineup, and you got to complete a specific objective with him. You can only do these objectives in Conquest, which can be tricky because Conquest games are only 3 innings. You can't play with these cards outside. You can use these cards outside of Conquest, but you can't complete the objective outside of Conquest. Okay, but this is pretty self-explanatory. Some tips on getting some of these objectives done. If you're playing the computer on a rookie, and let's say with the George Brett, I think it's 2 hits and a double, something like that. If you have the double, extend the game, let the computer score until you finally get that last hit, that last double, whatever the case may be. And that's what I suggest doing with some of these objectives. They're pretty easy to get done, but they're tedious because it does take a little bit of time. So yeah, once you complete Conquest Part 1, it's going to unlock Conquest Extreme, and this one's a lot more difficult. You're going to have to play the computer on Legend, Hall of Fame, at least in the beginning turns, and then from there you can kind of coast and play All-Star, and most of the games you do play are going to be rookie on veteran. It's pretty self-explanatory. You're going to have to complete these objectives on or before the turn. Some of these you are not going to be able to do together. You're going to have to restart the Conquest map. So let's say once you finish the Rockies, to go after the Yankees on or before turn 2, you're going to have to restart the map and then head east to complete the Yankees from where you start. Once you complete all these, it's going to unlock 2 final missions, which is the AL West and then the NL Central. I finished the NL Central first because it only takes 4 turns. And then from there, I completed the AL West. And then it's not going to show here, but after you complete the AL West, then it prompts for you to take over the entire map in 12 turns, 15 or 18. You want to do it in 12 turns. You don't want to do this in 18 or 15 because it's going to make you complete, everything in 12, 15, and 18. So if you do it the first time and conquer all the strongholds on 12 turns, it unlocks all these and you don't need to do it again. So with the final mission, the AL West, you can combine it with this final mission to complete on 12 turns, which is what I did. So just kind of looking over the 2 final missions. I'll show you my quick route here. You start here. I went straight down to take out the Royals. I stole fans on Legend, took out the Rangers, took out the Astros, stole fans on Legend again, started here, headed west, went all the way over here. I believe I had to steal fans one more time on Legend. I can't remember if I did or didn't, but anyway, you're going to have to steal fans on Legend on your first 3 or 4 turns. You take out the Angels, you come up here, take out the Athletics, and then you go all the way up here and take out the Mariners. From there, it's going to unlock, completed the AL West on 6 turns or less. And then you got to take out the whole map, okay? Now, the key is you're going to want to play every game. You're not going to want to simulate until you at least get to the very end and you got everything completed. But you're going to have to play every game, take over as many territories as possible while taking the shortest route to take out the strongholds, okay? You got a lot of flexibility as far as where you want to go. But I do suggest stealing fans on the first 5 turns, 4 turns on Legend, or at least Hall of Fame. You definitely want to maximize your first few turns because it's going to make your later turns easier because you're going to have more territories conquered, which means you're going to get reinforcements because for every 3 territories you have, you get 1 reinforcement. So if you have 30 territories, you're going to get 10 reinforcements. Plus, if you steal fans and win, you're going to get, those fans. Now, some of the fans, when you steal fans, you also want to take a look at what teams are left and potentially steal some fans to make your stronghold game easier. The Yankees always have the most fans, at least they did on my map. They had like 22 or so. I ended one of my turns after taking out the Indians, and I ended up with like 25 or 26 fans, and they had 22. So I went straight up here and took out the Yankees. It was like 23 of mine versus 22 of theirs, which made it, pretty easy for me to beat them on All-Star. You don't, if you can avoid it, why play them on Legend? Some of the easier teams, the Rays, the Marlins, the Braves. You know, they're a lot easier to beat. So I wouldn't worry about them too much. Those were teams that I specifically stole fans from. So when you get to those strongholds, it's going to be easier for you. Okay. As far as your lineup goes, you want to field the best possible team that you can. I have spent no money on this game, but you want to put the best pitchers that you can out there. Some of these pitchers I have in there aren't the best, but it's because I'm working on team epics. Your bullpen is crucial because you're not always going to get the starting pitcher that you want in there, but your bullpen, you can always use these games you can use these guys every game. This Kyle Bearclaw and Brett Cecil, Drew Storen, Jason Mott were crucial in me beating this. Felipe Rivero also were crucial in me beating this. These were guys that I use every single game. Yeah, your bullpen, you need to get your bullpen. You need to get a good one. You need to get guys that you like, that you can pitch with and strike out the computer with and get yourself out of jams, okay? As far as the hitting lineup goes, again, self-explanatory, common sense, but you want to get the best possible lineup. I got lucky and pulled this Bryce Harper after a game. I have a video on it. I earned the Albert Pujols and the Hanley Ramirez to doing the missions and objectives with them. But this was primarily the team that I used towards the end of the Conquest Extreme. So I have a pretty good lineup, which made things a whole lot easier. So the best possible team you can get, it's going to make things very, very easy for you. Okay. So is it worth it? Is it worth your time to do? I think if you have the time and you're not spending a lot of money on the game, absolutely, because I'm a no money spent guy. This first Conquest Part 1, you get some decent cards. They're not the greatest. This Ian Desmond's a very solid card, decent fielding, good hitting. This Jim Edmonds is an absolute beast who I will probably keep on my team for a while. I love this Cole Hamels. The Luis Gonzalez is solid. Again, probably a guy I'm gonna keep on my bench to pinch hit against for righties. And you get quite a bit of stubs, some packs, things like that. But the biggest thing is once you complete this Conquest Part 1, the rewards are solid, they're decent, but then you get into the best rewards, which are here. And I honestly think every card in here is usable right now and usable for quite some time. I love this Drew Storen card. He has an amazing sinker, 95, 96 sinker. His slider's amazing. He's got some decent quirks here. This Orlando Cepeda, he's decent. I have Albert Pujols, so I'm not going to use him anymore. But if you don't have a first baseman, he's one of the best that you can get right now. His fielding's lackluster, but most first basemen are. This Oral Horshire is a very good card. He also is a sinker baller, and the sinker is one of the best in the game this year. He's got very good hits per 9, pretty decent control, and decent quirks. I like him. He's kind of a pitch-to-contact type of guy. He will strike out guys when he gets rolling, but for the most part, he's a pitch-to-contact type of guy. And I just unlocked these 3. I have not used them yet. They're not even in my lineup. But I will say this Brian Dozier is pretty good. Very solid, for power, good vision. Now his gold card's pretty good too, especially if it's playing up for the inside edge. But this is a very good card. But the 2 biggest cards I feel like are this Yadier Molina, good contact, decent power, but the fielding, he's got to be the best fielding catcher in the game, and then he offers pretty good hitting to boot. And this Matt Kemp is pretty comparable to the Mike Trout, good speed. The only weakness on this card is his vision, but right now in the game, vision doesn't mean anything. So if you have the time, which I think you can get the time, play a few games, take over a few strongholds a day, and I think you can get it done in a reasonable time, and it'll be worth your time, because I feel like this Matt Kemp and Yadier and some of these cards are going to be on your team for quite some time, even if they end up turning into a backup at some point later on in the season. I definitely think it's worth it, and like I said, no money spent. You get quite a bit of stubs, so you can use those stubs to build up your team even more. So I definitely think it's worth your time. I work, I go to school, I have kids, so I definitely think it's worth your time to do it, because the rewards are just amazing. It's just tedious. Once you're able to beat the computer on Legend and Hall of Fame, from there, it's pretty much a breeze. Like I said, field the best possible team you can. Get the best budget beast out there. I got some videos on them, and you guys will be all set, and it's definitely worth your time. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Like it, thumbs it up, share it, whatever. Peace out guys.